A while back, I posted a video about how I created a religion that no one can join. I hoped it would spark interesting conversations with people. I hoped it would connect me with some unique souls who have their own unique perspective on life, love, and the universe. Thankfully, it did. One man in particular also created his own religion. He began to talk to me about it, and I thought it was the most entertaining religion that I'd ever heard about. To give you a taste, I asked if he had a god in his religion. He said yes. I said, which god? And without hesitation, he said, Tungulus Galactica. There on out, I knew I was in for a good ride. And I was. I had so much fun talking to him. I asked, hey, can we talk about this later and maybe record it and I can share it with the world? He said yes, but he does prefer to remain anonymous. When you watch this, you will understand why. The interview is very thought-provoking. At times, it's remarkably crass, particularly near the end. Just a heads up. It's not suitable for work, not suitable for polite society, arguably not suitable anywhere. But it made me laugh and it made me think. And those are two of my favorite things in the world. And I hope it does the same for you. So, I hope you enjoy the interview with the man who calls himself the Mule. This is the photo he gave me. And the Church of Tungulus Galactica. Enjoy. When I went public that I created a religion that no one else can join, I thought it might lead to some interesting conversations with people. And it didn't. You're really the only person that had something of like substance or relevance, at least so far, that really hit me, because to my knowledge, you're the only other person that has a religion that no one else is a member of. It's not that people can't join, it's just that no one has, and you're the only member.
And
Is that
maybe
about accurate?
Yeah, no one should. But yeah, no one.
And that's fair.
I'm confident no one has yet joined the religion that I created for me. Correct.
Yes. Okay. And it is a religion that you created for yourself, would you say?
Yeah.
You didn't create it for other people.
No, certainly not. It's not advisable religion for others. Like in theory, like maybe it's cool, but I certainly, I made it for me. I imagine a religion that would work best for me. Maybe others would join, but it's a fairly antisocial religion. So yeah.
Do you have a name for the religion? Do you want to state the name?
So it's called the Church of Tungulus Galactica.
Tungulus Galactica.
It kind of wears on you. I enjoy it. It creates a good vision, and it's certainly it's an other time and space kind of name, I think.
Yes. And Tungulus Galactica, would it be fair to say Tungulus is a deity, or would you use a different word?
He's a god. I don't know if there's a difference between the two, but deity to me sounds like benevolence, and just for certain, Tungulus is not benevolent. He is not. Okay. He is definitely a male in the sexual and like atomical type of person, because he is nude at all times, but he never wears clothes. That's a very particular thing that's about him. But deity, I think, feels elevated and benevolent, and he's not cruel necessary, but he is absolutely not helpful.
Malevolent, nor benevolent.
He is not helpful. Okay. The best way to describe it is he's just not helpful.
Is not helpful. Okay,
right. Well, he is all powerful and completely unhelpful. Yes.
All powerful and completely unhelpful. I like that a lot. Okay. Let's get into it, because you actually typed up a document for this that I quite enjoyed reading.
Yeah,
I was the Church of
Tungulus Galactica. Yeah, so I tried to write up sort of like a book of tenets, and then I wrote some initial verse and prose of like if you were to start with Genesis, for example, if you wanted to read the Bible, you'd start with Genesis or whatever the first bits of the Quran are. Like there's some coming into being or what the God is. So yeah, I wrote some of
Yeah.
that down.
I don't think you're pretentious enough to call it a holy text, but it's kind of
I think I could be that pretentious. Yeah, I mean it's like
okay.
the idea would be like I could bury these somewhere and then someone could come along and like I could leave like a seeing stone and someone could like dig them up and like find out. I haven't done the thing where I put them on paper and put coffee stains on them and burn the edges to make it look like
Mm-hmm.
an old text. You'd have to wait like a
Yeah.
couple thousand years because I'm not really willing to go through the effort of doing that. But that would be the idea, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a found religion, sometime in the future.
So I'll start reading some of it. The Church of Tungulus Galactica, God of Nihilism, patron of sincere absurdity, taint first into existence.
Correct. Yeah. So those are the three. That's like the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost of this. It is of this. The core tenets are. So if you believe in those tenets, you also like don't believe in a God, or like the conclusion might be from nihilism that there is no God, there's no plan, that none of it
Mhm.
matters. But what is a God? If there was a God of nihilism, like if there was a
Mhm.
patron or like a holy being that was also nihilistic. So that was where the concept came from, or is, and kind of what he is. And then the contradiction in terms of like the God of nihilism precludes that like the universe is a joke, and like we should we should make fun of it and mock it, for how absurd like reality actually is. Um, and then I started thinking about like the physical representation of this God and like how he comes into the universe. So like I don't know if I feel like he just didn't do it on purpose. Like he came into our plane of reality like a little bit by mistake. And he's always nude. I mean, I guess I could have had that as like a fourth tenet. Like the God is always nude. But the way he came in is like I picture a person that was sort of like lying on a cosmic couch, sort of lying on his back, but with his
Mhm.
like kind of legs up in the air. And he
Mhm.
broke the plane into our reality, with his taint, um, coming into our universe. And he
Like a
comes in.
breached birth,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah. Like something's coming out and you can't really tell what it is.
But
Like you would
instead of
be
a
able to,
foot, it's
right, it's a taint. Like it's like the space. It's like on the bottom is the deep ass crack, on the top. You can't, his legs are folded over, so you can't really see his balls. But there's like a big flap, like old piece of skin, like in between those two. And it's coming out. And then eventually it's like, oh, it's a taint. And the rest of his body comes out. But he doesn't know what just happened. He's really confused, and so he's like looking over his
uh,
shoulder. So as you look up to him I assume in the sky or like in your heart, I'm not sure like how
mhm.
it's presented, but you see him sort of like looking over. He's got glasses on, and he's just sort of like looking past his taint. So you kind of see his taint and then kind of looking over, kind of looking around his legs. You see his face, and
Uh-huh.
it's an immense being, and he's just sort of confused. That's the expression.
Immense, like size wise, like I see him as like more of a rotund
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's
god.
definitely
Like
not. He's not a healthy being. I mean, he's not traditionally like healthy. He's not like a form of like David or he's definitely just like it's like Adam and Eve, and then like someone that is just hasn't really cared about much for like a couple of millennia. Like he's not like grotesquely morbid, but it's just like
yeah.
it's someone that really does hasn't taken care of themselves because they just don't care. But
Hmm.
he's an immortal being, so he's still pretty radiant.
Yeah, okay. I like that. So nude, large, like unhealthy, come and taint first into existence. I don't know if people like summon him, like he's just kind of
I
confused.
think
I
it
see an
just
image of like the glasses, like a little canted, like
yeah
the.
yeah like he woke up. He's been asleep on the couch, and he woke up and he just sort of entered in this way. But yeah, his eyesight's not good. He might have
Mhm.
diabetes, whatever the cosmic equivalent is.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, he's into our universe, and he's sharing with us like, here's the like, none of this is meaningful. It's a huge joke.
Mm,
Uh,
mhm,
let's care about each other. So that is the fundamental thing. So the number one tenet is that like nothing really matters, but we're here and no matter what. So I almost feel it's like a rebellion against the the void or the darkness. I think you can believe that nothing matters, but that at the same time you can rebel against that by instead of just being cynical about it, you can accept that it's the truth that nothing matters. But then, as a rebellion against that, you can be kind to other people because they're also going through the exact same universe of meaninglessness. So, like,
mm,
that's the core tenet. It's the primary, like, tension or primary, like, duality of like nihilism and kindness. I think those are the kind of the two opposing structures versus like dark and light. It's just nothing matters and like we need to be kind. So it's a I almost say it's like a religion of rebellion, meaning that like we accept the truth, we accept that there's a fact that there's no meaning to the universe, that it's kind of a weird joke that we're here, but we can fight against it with being kind to others and making other people's lives better. That's the core tenet.
mm. Yeah. I'll say what's written is nothing matters, but you are here anyway, so be kind, in short,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So like universe is indifference, but you're here. You happen to have hands. Like we've figured out how to evolve slightly beyond maybe some of the animals, though. Like we don't. Other animals are kinder to each other, but mostly not. The crazy probability that we're all here anyway. And so that's kind of where that was the primary tenet.
Right.
So that's
Can I
yeah.
talk about some of the things that I find intriguing or like
Sure.
thought provoking? But so nihilism, a lot of people think of like nothingness, like you don't believe in anything. So to have a god of like nothingness is a very interesting contrast. It's like a very it's a contradiction in a lot of ways, which I think I find so intriguing about it. But then also with that, the so be kind part kind of does imply a little bit of benevolence. Like if you're saying, okay, the universe, like indifferent, maybe Tungulus he's going to be indifferent no matter what. So it's up to you yourself to be kind.
Yeah, I
He's
think
a
it's
reminder that
yeah, I
maybe you shouldn't be that lethargic.
correct. Yeah, yeah. You worship him to know what not to do. It's like having like a bad boss or something. The uh yeah, for I think to believe like in nothing or that like nothing really matters, I think it's an act of faith, or not really faith, of like to being kind is like outside of religion. I mean I guess a lot of religions tell you to be kind, but what I'm saying is that kindness or should exist outside of religion, because if you aren't kind, deep down, like there's no good and evil. It's just nothing. So it's an act
Mm,
against nothingness, not an act against evil
mhm.
or badness
Okay.
or like anti morality. I don't know if I can
Okay.
if I can explain that
No.
really well,
Can
but
I'll try to explain it succinctly. Tell me how I do. So Tungulus Galacticus, neutral, but the church itself is trying to lean towards benevolence rather than malevolence. If there's a spectrum between benevolence and malevolence, the needle wants to move towards benevolence, at least in the church.
yeah, I Tungulus is the god that doesn't care. It's a
Mhm.
central tenet that we have to care for each other because Tungulus doesn't care. The universe,
Mm.
Tungulus represents the universe, and so we act as I don't want to say a foil, but we act in his presence to um, provide meaning where there fundamentally is none.
Mm.
We acknowledge the meaninglessness, which is what Tungulus represents.
Acknowledgement, yeah.
Yeah.
Would anyone ever pray to Tungulus? Seems like a lost cause, but
No, no, there's no praying to Tungulus. Yes, that's correct.
okay.
We pray.
A lot of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know if we pray, but we acknowledge Tungulus. I acknowledge Tungulus as the god of nihilism, but I don't pray to him.
See, there might be other people who join this religion because I feel like not having to pray would just make people happy.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this. I read this months ago, but I'm reading it live, so my enthusiasm is sincere. You may only worship through humor. Yeah. So you may only, this is the second tenet. You may only worship through humor. Devotion is a ridiculous act done on purpose. The holiest sound is laughing through tears. I like that. I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
Do you care to elaborate?
Yeah. So like we just kind of pivoted, like segue from like there's no prayer, but like the act of being funny or making joke of things is the prayerful or is the act. So basically nothing matters. The best way to counteract that is not necessarily through happiness. It's through joking and it's through humor. So like laughing about mocking your own pain. It's hard for me to describe, but yeah, the humor provides the worship.
Mocking your own pain is a good way of putting it, because I
Yeah.
think that's a skill that I've developed. I think it's a skill that you have, but it's fairly rare, the ability to like laugh at one's own pain and to find joy, get like an actual physical, visceral reaction out of something going bad, being able to turn something like
Yeah.
negative and painful into like a joyful kind of sensation right away.
Right
Sometimes
away.
there's a buffer that needs to happen, but
Yeah.
the sooner you can, you know, the more you can shorten the buffer time, the better.
Yeah. Schadenfreude is like real, where we can sort of enjoy watching, someone else's like painful experience because it's a relief that we're not experiencing ourselves. But like, what if you can do that immediately after the event? If you can reflect on it of like, man, that's pretty damn funny of how how shitty of it is.
So I'm going to go on to the third tenet. Number 3, sincerity is best served ironically. Says the joke and the truth can coexist. In fact, they must. I like that a lot. Care to elaborate?
Yeah, I guess it's the same concept of like the weird shit that we do to survive, and the things that we continue to do over and over again, and hurt and kill each other in like cycles of like the universe didn't have to actually evolve that way, but it did. So it feels like a joke, but like it's also the truth. And so I think when you tell jokes and you provide insincerity, sometimes that can be the truthful as well. Of like the fact that like we can make light of this situation is the actual deep truth, which is like in the great scheme of things, not the needle's not moving on the universe.
In my opinion, my favorite jokes are the ones that hit the hardest, are the ones that have just the right amount of truth combined with the right amount of exaggeration or irony.
Yeah, I agree.
Or even insincerity, but that kernel of truth is what makes the like laughter like pop within me.
Agreed.
Just the fourth tenet, the fourth and final one thus far. Tungulus arrived taint first, so will enlightenment.
Yeah.
Stop trying to get it right. Just show up. Backwards, weird, kind.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
I like that.
Yeah. So the idea is like God didn't arrive from a Virgin Mary or from some immaculate conception, or like the lessons aren't learned through human related like or miracle things with powers. It's just a naked large man just sliding taint first in, but he still is a radiant being worthy of respect. So as you like scale enlightenment, it's like you don't have to try that hard, just sort of take it one at a time and reflect on the absurdity if you reflect on the absurdity of what's happening in the world or in the universe or even your life, if you just reflect and key in on the absurd and the weird stuff, like I think it provides a better truth and a better path to knowing yourself and the the concept of enlightenment. If you tackle it through the lens of like reflection and with a focus on the silliness, I think that provides a reasonable path to enlightenment. That's not that is not as like mystic as we think it needs to be.
Yeah, I like that. And I like the idea of enlightenment. Oh, it'll just pull you out. It'll come from an angle you're not expecting.
Yeah. So
maybe
just
not necessarily taint first, but it could maybe.
Yeah, it might as well be taint first. Yeah. Yeah. It could be any part of the body, but like might as well assume it's going to be taint first.
Yeah, great. That's the four tenets. Now there's also the rituals of the Church of Tungulus Galactica.
Yeah, these
I feel that could be saved. Yeah.
Yeah, these are trickier, but like, yeah, if I were to expand the church at some point, there needs to be rituals. I don't know if you can have a church. Maybe you can, but I feel like a religion always has to have rituals to connect to. There has to be some pattern of behavior. So the biggest one was the holy chuckle, which was like a daily affirmation that the cosmos doesn't give a shit. But like my job is to like give a shit. It's basically like, hey, you survived another day in the like great cosmic joke of a universe. So it's like focusing on like something painful and stupid that happened yesterday. And just like whisper like, yeah, the cosmos doesn't care about it. But like I do. Yep.
I think that's kind of a beautiful ritual. And we can go. Do you actually keep up to the daily chuckle? Do you have at least a chuckle a day? Or do you think you miss days?
I definitely miss days.
So it hasn't been formally ritualized by yourself yet.
No, it hasn't been.
To ritualize it, you either need to pick a date or a time. Is it a daily thing, a weekly thing? Oh, it was a daily chuckle, yeah. Daily practice.
Yeah. I feel like it's better done in the morning as a reflection. Like I think you could do it night before sleep, but when I do it in the morning, it tends to have more impact. Usually because I'm dreading something. But
so it's like chuckling at it in advance as opposed to in hindsight. It's like, oh shit, something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah. So
and
just
then laughing at that as opposed to, oh shit, something bad happened.
Yeah, like
this sometimes.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this up today.
Because it might not happen.
Right.
It might not happen though. So like that's part of the chuckle is whether it's fucked up or not. Whether it goes the way you plan or you don't, you can laugh in advance because truthfully, you'll be okay either way.
Yeah.
Or or just neutral.
Yeah. So if you pre-laugh at the ways you're going to screw up during the day, I think it makes it a lot better. You just assume you're going to fuck things up and then you just laugh at yourself and then go about your day.
It's a valid philosophy from what I can tell. Like I understand it. And I could understand why someone could make a church out of this or consider something like this sacred. The question that arose was, would it be safe to say or fair to say that like there is no authority in the Church of Tungulus Galactica?
100%. I think it's hard to do this without authority. I mean, it's hard to gather people.
But like maybe one is one's own authority. Each member is their own ultimate authority in the end because the ultimate authority doesn't care.
Correct.
So then if the ultimate authority doesn't care, I myself have to care.
Yeah, I think it's a loose abiding by the rituals because otherwise I don't know if it's really distinguishable as a religion. But it's not a like these are the only people that can speak kind of thing. I think it's everybody collectively screaming into the void. I think that's a much more comforting concept than someone individual. So like the rituals are meant to like reinforce the absurdism. And like that is the joy. Like that's the coolest experience of just embracing the absurdism and talking about that's like to me that's the like rebellion against like the void. It's just inventing something that can't possibly exist because like, we're screwed over by the universe. So why don't we create as much more interesting than it actually is? I mean, you have to, and believing in that lie. So like creating your own creating your own nonsensical universe is one of my favorite things to do. Anyone can get up and do this and try. I think we all got better at satire. We all got better at like making the absurd. I think the world would be the world would be a much better place.
I agree. And that's why I actually want to hold off on discussing any of the other rituals, because I think there'll be a full discussion about them later. I think the core tenets and the daily chuckle is a great one because it's a singular, and I could see this becoming like an actual religion. I think it'd be small, but that if Tungulus really is the god of like nihilism, but seems to enjoy laughter, I think it seems to be a fair assessment. The funniest outcome is that this becomes like a real thing, and there doesn't need to be. As you said, there probably shouldn't be, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I feel like it could be awful, and make people feel much worse. But like, I don't know. I think I like the concept because the thing that I hate the most, and what this religion is against, is the concept of like, oh, this is all God's plan. Like I take my own responsibility and I insert it into a being that somehow is creating like some universal plan that takes all accountability and motivation like outside of us and puts it into like somewhere else. And so I want to supplant that with no, this is all us. We have to create our own community. Like we have to do this and assume if there is a God that it is completely indifferent to like what's happening to us. He's there, he's nude, he's all powerful, but it's completely irrelevant of his like interaction with us. He can definitely see what we're doing, absolutely sees all the stuff we're doing, but doesn't care. So like we have to create our own, and I think laughter to me and humor to me is like the direct like access to joy, and that concept even more so than like love. Maybe that's fucked up in my own brain, but yeah.
You can measure laughter is somewhat quantifiable because you get like an actual physical reaction. You hear it, it's like almost like you can't control it, where love is a little bit more opaque, it's a little bit more abstract, it's a little bit more internal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I would love to talk to you later, because the religion that no one can join, one of the basic tenets is just, I don't know. It's admitting what I don't know. And that just opens up a world of possibilities, because I'm able to talk to people, because I'm not brittle. I'm not rigid in enough stuff where I'll just like break. I'm like pliable and bendable enough. In my mental thing, I just want to know how other people think. And this is a good one. I probably should pretend to be indifferent, but I'm a fan. I see nothing wrong if other people want to join in on this, but definitely questions about it would be fun and funny. And I could see somewhere in the distant future a sculpture of Tungulus, just an overweight nude being born taint first, like kind of looking to the side of his legs.
Like the statue of Buddha. Like you recognize it when you see it. It's in different,
the laughing Buddha.
Right. It's in different forms and different sizes. There's huge ones. There's like little tiny ones you put in your room. But like we create like there's a sculpture that's like, oh yeah, that's Tungulus's taint. Like we know what it is. We know what we're worshiping to. Like you don't want there to be confusion. It's like, okay, there's Jesus up on the cross. He looks kind of different, but he's always white, thin, jacked, and bearded. Like you have a Tungulus that's just like, oh, we kind of see his face, but mostly his asshole and the lower part of his balls. Like that's there should be that would be the statue. We'll know we've succeeded if we see those things of varying shapes inside it. Yeah.
I love that the god of nihilism, the most defining featuristic is the taint.
Right.
Because it's like, there's nothing, the taint's nothing. There's nothing there. In so many cultures, the sex organs, like in India and yogic cultures, Hinduism, they have like the linga is like the more phallic one, and then the yoni is like the womb. So the sex organs can have like, there are a lot of that imagery. There's a lot of like sex organ symbiology in religious things, but to my knowledge, there's no taint. This might be the first one.
No, and
it's
the
neutral.
taint is the opposite of sexual organs. It's every other thing.
Yeah.
No one is turned on by a taint. There is not. I challenge anyone. I challenge anyone to be like, Tungulus is flaccid all the time. He's nude and he's flaccid. He is not a sexual being. He is not like so much better. Like, as a part of like, it's so old, it's never been touched. Like, you can't touch it.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to touch it. But yes, no, it's a Tungulus has to be male. There's nothing like misogynistic about it. It has to be male. It has to be, his balls have to be tucked up under his legs. Like, you can't see them. The statue doesn't have balls in it because Tungulus is inherently non-sexual. He has gross sexual organs, but like, that's not what we're interested in. What comes first is the old, crusty flap of skin between the asshole and the bottom of the balls. And that is the core of the religion of Tungulus Galactica. If you unravel, like, you know how like if you drill down into the atom and we follow, like, there's quarks and there's like quantum, like the core quantum basis of the universe of Tungulus is taint. And then all of the truths and realities sort of unspiral out like a galaxy from his taint.
I love it though, because it does imply a neutrality. The taint's such a neutral thing. It's like not positive or negative. It's closer to a neutron than a proton or an electron.
Agreed. It's not attracting or repelling anything. It just is what it is.
It might be repellent.
Might be repellent.
If you can't laugh at
that's
it,
true.
I guess
that's true. Quantum
that's
physics tells us that there's enough neutrons in one space, like the universe will collapse. So yeah, it is very much that way.
The laughter is the protons.
Right.
Balance.
I don't know if we ever scientifically just like, has any two human beings touched taints together? Like, if that happens, does the universe explode? Because I'm sure no one's tried it. Like, no one's tried it on purpose.
Oh, I'm sure they have. Well,
yeah.
People have tried just about everything, but to my knowledge, the universe is still together. But we don't know that. It could be a simulation. If, like, you tonight or someone were to touch taints, the universe might collapse. There's no way to know until you try.
Yeah, there's a quantum range of possibilities that every time I touch taint with another person, the universe could explode. It's something we just can't know.
Fortunately, I mean, the fortunate thing about that is maybe no one's ever accidentally touched taints, right? Like, you have to go into that knowing what you're doing.
Yeah. No, it probably involves some math and some tools.
This is great. All right. Thank you for talking about this. I would love to do this again because it made me laugh and think. And those are like my two favorite things. Like, basically, anytime I have a conversation with someone, I want to laugh and I want to think. If I can do either one of those things consistently, it's great. If I can ping pong between them, even better. And there's other stuff I love too, but with the church, I'm with the worshiping through humor. That it's not a tenet of my own religion, but it could be, and it might be. Actually, it is. Laughter is one of the few things that have gotten to the club of sacred for me.
Yeah.
Like, the word sacred, well, basically everything's sacred. It's kind of like Animal Farm. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. Everything's sacred, but there are certain things
the horse isn't equal. That horse is a piece of shit. The guy that just works quietly, that horse deserved to die.
I need to
sorry. It's an inside Orwell joke.
But no dictators in the Church of Tungulus Galactica.
No dictators. It's
yeah. Not even a dick. No sexual organs. Just a
this is not a sexual religion.
We'll do this again. Talk again soon.
Yep. All right. Have a good night.
Yep. You as well. All right.
Bye.